Today we are joined by Lars Thorsell, the Swedish winger, to talk about Swedish Red Wings prospects.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome back to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are a podcast brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, Connor.
And I'm the other host, Kyle. We're a show brought to you by the fans for the fans. We are not officially sponsored by the Grand Rapids Griffins or Detroit Red Wings. We do this as season ticket members that just want to keep you guys updated on the Griffins through the offseason.
We are by no means experts. We are just diehard fans. So on today's episode, we're going to play the rest of our interview with Swedish winger podcast Lars Thorsell. It's a really good talk about some of the Swedish prospects that the Detroit Red Wings have drafted. So nice to see all the Swedish pipeline. But before that, we just want to talk a little bit of news, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of news. The only thing we're really going to cover today is Carter Bear signed his entry-level contract, the 13th pick of the draft this year. So congratulations to Carter Bear.
So good goal scorer. Good to see him sign the contract. That might be a fast come over to North America. He might be playing on the Griffins by the end of the year. He could possibly come over for a playoff run.
Yeah, he's got the potential. He's one of those players, just like Casper did, just like some of these other players have played in the remainder of the season. He could be one of them that joins the squad late on. So that's all we really have for news today is Carter Bear. Other than that, it's dead in the middle of the offseason. It is true summertime, and we just kind of want to get this interview going. It's a nice long one. We're going to play the whole thing, including the draft talk that we already had.
Yeah, let's get this one underway. So today we have a very special interview. We have Lars Thorsell from the Swedish Winger podcast to talk about some of the Swedish prospects like Axel Sanding Pellikka, Michael Branson Nygaard, Anton Johansson, Charlie Forsland, Maximilian Kilpinen, and the Dauer Nielsen brothers. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's all good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Good to have you on. Really appreciate you making the time to join our show. As we understand, you have had a show for quite some time now, the Swedish Winger.
Oh, it hasn't been that long, has it? Oh, maybe a couple of years.
Probably longer than us.
Really? Well, I just do like intermittent episodes from time to time. It's not like I'm on a regular schedule or something. It's when I feel like it, I make one.
Heck yeah.
It works how it should.
Yeah, I've always found it really interesting listening to your show because you have the actual Swedish aspect, and the Detroit Red Wings have actually drafted a majority of Sweden guys, like more than any other country. We've just been having a pipeline right there in Sweden, and me and Kyle don't really know a whole bunch about it. You know, we're not in Sweden watching all the games all the time. We watch a lot of Grand Rapids Griffins and everything. So that's what we talk about. But in the offseason, we like to talk about some upcoming prospects, and we figured you were the perfect guy to reach out to and talk about some of the Swedish guys.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I watch plenty of local hockey here, so I get my fill.
Awesome. So we want to hear who you are, what you do, how you kind of became a hockey fan, and what, leads you to do what you do with your show.
Oh, how I became a hockey fan is basically I wasn't good enough to play, really. So I kind of quit hockey at like age 10 or something, but I still liked to play hockey with friends.
Yep.
But the whole playing with the team wasn't really for me. But later on, I started playing football. Well, soccer, as you heathens call it, but football over here. But I never returned to like playing hockey, so I just watched hockey instead. So that's basically where it all started for me. Like the passion of just watching the game. So my first love was AIK hockey here in Sweden, and they still are the first love, but they're horrible. So
Yeah, that's hard when your favorite team falls to the bottom.
oh yeah, you're on your first real downturn now, aren't you? As Red Wings
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in our lifetimes, like growing up, being 96 and being 28 years old, yeah, it was all glory days for the first half of my life. And yeah, we've been kind of tilting on the downside for a while.
Yeah, I know. At least I got to live through the glory days. So I'm fine with waiting. I'm not as impatient as some of the other fans are with the we have to push all the chips in now. I think that's a dangerous path.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Yzerman knows what he's doing. I mean, everyone is really critical about some of the moves he's made and how he didn't do much at the trade deadline. But sometimes it's like you can't just make gold out of nothing. I mean, we'd have
No,
to
you
give up valuable prospects. I mean, and by the way it's gone, we've been better developing our prospects that we draft and then getting other guys from other places. So I say I'm not too upset about the way everything turned out this year.
Oh, neither am I. I mean, if we are supposed to start trading now for players that are ready to play into the NHL, this is the moment you trade Philip Forsberg for Martin Erat, right? One of the worst trades in the NHL history of trades. So I rather stand pat and just watch the kids grow and eventually get one of the other like free agents or a decent trade. But right now, I don't think. Are we trading to get into the playoffs? Why?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the kids will find a way to get us there, especially with what me and Connor saw with the Griffins, not this season, but the last season. I mean, there's a really bright group of young kids here, and I think time is coming for them to kind of blossom and grow into elite hockey players. So, I mean, we saw what Casper did last year in Edmonton, and another season in the NHL for both of them is just going to make them that much better. So,
Yeah, I agree. And you have a couple of other guys coming as well in Grand Rapids, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
Anton Johansson will probably not play, but we'll get to him. But then you
Yeah.
have so many other guys coming up as well, both Swedes and the North Americans. So the future is bright. There's no
Yeah,
rush.
very, very, very bright. So I want to quick ask you, being all the way over there in Sweden, what made you a Detroit Red Wings fan?
Well, it kind of started. I'm born in '77, so I'm 47 years old now. That sounds horrible, ancient man. But somewhere along the road, I just have this vivid memory of watching either a Canada Cup or something like that, where Sweden played Canada, and there was this guy Steve Yzerman on the Canadian team, and I thought his name was the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yzerman, that's a wicked name. So I started following him like a little when we played street hockey. I was Steve Yzerman, and
oh yeah.
like kids do.
Oh yeah.
And then and then my favorite player who played for Toronto Maple Leafs, Börje Salming, the late great like pioneer. He signed for Detroit in '89, I think it was, and then it was all like done. And there was like this parade of my favorite players just going to Detroit. It was Nick Lidstrom and everything like that. So it was a done deal. I had two like American favorite players when I was younger. And it was Steve Yzerman and it was Pat LaFontaine. So I was like at one point teetering between like Buffalo Sabres and Detroit Red Wings. And I'm eternally grateful for the choice I made. Because imagine being a Buffalo Sabres fan from the 90s up until now.
Hey, even Hasek ended up in a Wings jersey.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like a very stressful situation to have to root for them guys.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for these guys. I mean, those fans, God damn.
We definitely got like the perfect team. I mean, obviously we've been on this hole lately, but just the history and everything, it's just and the logo, everything about the Red Wings is my favorite. I just love them.
Yeah, best jerseys in the game.
I would always watch like the Olympics and the World Championships, and just knowing how many players the Red Wings had over in Sweden would always make me root for Sweden as well.
Yeah. Speaking of the best jerseys in the game, national team wise, it's hard to beat the Swedish Tre Kronor jerseys, especially the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Yeah, they look real nice. So
They
let's
don't change much.
No. So let's get into some of these players. Like, let's start with Axel Sandin Pellikka and Michael Branson Nygaard. We'll start with ASP. We got to see a little bit of him in Grand Rapids coming over for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you can take too much with you from those viewings, though. I mean, maybe he's shown a little bit, but you have to take into account where he came from. I mean, he was playing with his like childhood favorite team in Skellefteå, and when they got eliminated, he knew it was the last time with the boys. He was basically crying during the last interview they had with him, all teary-eyed, and then he just jumped on a plane to play for Grand Rapids. So I think he was pretty worn down on a new situation, all that. So
that transition from the bigger ice coming into North America is actually a lot more than people think. Everyone's like, oh, send them right to Detroit. But, like, you got a lot less time on that ice. You got dudes coming down on you way faster. You have
for sure.
time, and you got to get rid of that puck, or you got to make a decision way faster, and it's a big transition. So it's really good to get that little bit of time in Grand Rapids and actually develop in the AHL, and before you're stuck right into like a pack of wolves up in Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree up to a point there, but if you look at a guy like Rasmus Dahlin in Buffalo Sabres, he came over. He wasn't like physically ready for the NHL, but he stuck him in the NHL either way. I don't think he played much in Rochester at all, but they sheltered him and let him develop in the NHL, and I mean that paid dividends as well. So I'm not sure that you can always like go one way or the other. I think you have to look at the player. If there's one guy I think that could step straight into the NHL, it's Axel Sandin Pellikka, because he's just that good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though that it would be the best for him. That decision has to come down the road. But this guy, I've seen so many games with him now, and this guy he's special. I mean, I haven't seen many players that have impressed me as much as this guy at such a young age, and the accolades he has won. I mean, the young player of the year in Europe, young player of the year in the SHL. He won first All-Star team, second year in a row in the World Juniors. I mean, we're talking about a very, very special player here, I reckon. Yeah. And I think so many of us fans underestimate Axel Sandin Pellikka because he was picked at, 17? Yeah, right. 17.
And he was our first round pick, so...
Yeah, after Nate. So
I would have picked him before Nate, honestly. If it were me making the pick, I was
right now.
I actually wrote a comment on Winged Wheel Podcast Patreon that my perfect draft would be Axel Sandin Pellikka first and Nate Danielson with the second pick.
Yeah,
that's and awesome. I wrote that like a month before the draft, and there we were, like, oh shit.
When they drafted Nate Danielson, I was kind of like, oh no, Axel Sandin Pellikka's there. We really need a defenseman, and he's on the right side, so that even makes it better. Like, someone to pair.
Same here. I was looking at it, and I was like, that's a boring pick. That's a boring pick at that position.
And then we actually got him at 17. He was still there. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. That's what I hope for William Eklund this draft. Or rather, Victor Eklund, the little brother Eklund.
Yeah.
If he drops to 13, we should be cartwheeling to the stage.
Agree. I actually want to.
I don't think Iceman can cartwheel though.
So yeah, Axel Sandin Pellikka. Last year in
Yeah.
the SHL, played 46 games, 12 points, 17 assists for 29 points.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was really good in the playoffs as well, scoring his 8 points in 11 games with the 1 goal and so many primary assists. No, he's a hell of a player. I was asked before on Twitter what my comparison for him is, and I just answered like Cale McCarr, just to piss people off. And I mean, we're talking about a talent that you don't see that often. Will he make it or won't he make it? That remains to be seen. But talent-wise, he's extremely special. I mean, if you watch the games here in Sweden like I do, you just see the expert one after the other, like Staffan Kronwall, Niklas Kronwall's brother, is one of the experts, and he's been like lauding Axel Sandin Pellikka all year long. Everybody's like super hyped about Axel Sandin Pellikka. They talk about him like the next big Swedish defenseman. So when you think like the hype from Sweden towards Axel Sandin Pellikka, we're talking about like Rasmus Dahlin caliber, Erik Karlsson caliber, that type of like
An elite
range.
top
Yeah,
player.
absolutely, for
Top
sure,
two defensemen.
100%. And if you get to see him a full season in Grand Rapids, and he does well, you're in for a show.
Yeah, I think that would honestly be a treat, kind of like you're saying. If he goes to training camp this summer, and he shows up, I don't see a reason why they should send him down if he's playing good with the guys up there. But if they do send him down, that'd be a huge treat for us in Grand Rapids, and I'll take it.
Yeah,
and let him
because
develop more.
if he succeeds, you'll be sitting there in 15 years. You know, I saw him playing Grand Rapids.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, because that's going to be that type of memory. Because he's that type of player. He could have this massive legacy like 10, 15 years down the road.
Yep.
If he pans out. And that's always like, you don't know about these guys. You can just make qualified guesses, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if there's a guy that should make it, he's the guy.
Oh yeah. And I also think he's a great fit. You know, like you got the big guys like Edmondson and Sider, who are like two solid studs that are going to be there for years to come. Then you insert like the smaller guy, Axel Sandin Pellikka, who has like the more skill and he can man the power play, quarterback that stuff, and really come down. And I'm really excited for this guy for real.
Yeah, like you said, the hype level on him is off the charts, and him coming to Grand Rapids for the playoffs. I mean, it was a big deal. Like people were really excited to see him in a Griffins jersey on the ice, and I'm ready to buy one myself. Just get the AFC on the jersey and get it over here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, an ASP Grand Rapids jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have some wicked jerseys there, man. I saw was it like reddish orange? I thought that was fire.
Oh yeah. They debuted him and MBN both came over and were wearing the nice red ones, so I have to get one.
I actually got myself the MBN one because I stole the Sebastian Cossa jersey from him, so I figured I'd give him Axel Sandin Pellikka this time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get that ASP. So yeah, hype is warranted for sure, and I can't wait to see. Like he said, Connor said, it would be a treat if he did play at least most of the season in Grand Rapids. But like you said, he's got that potential to easily crack the Red Wings roster and end up there. So
yeah. So as far as how he played up here in Grand Rapids, like I'd kind of take it with a grain of salt because like it was a very little sample size, and like kind of like you were saying, he ended his season over there pretty crazily. You know, they got eliminated and he's losing all his friends. But
yeah,
it definitely seemed like he had a little bit of a adjustment needed. I mean, he has all summer to work on that, but like it seemed like sometimes he'd go in the zone and he'd kind of lose it a little bit because of the time. But besides that, like he was definitely slotted in on the first unit of the power play also, and he got a lot of minutes coming right in from Sweden. I mean, you don't really see that all the time. Last year we had Nate Danielson come over, and we only had him really play one game in the playoffs because, you know, you got your group of guys and he wasn't really vibing quite well, so he played a game opposed to Axel Sandin played every game of the playoffs.
Yeah, and with top minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, and you also have to take into account, like, now he knows. He knows what the AHL is, and he has 3 playoff games to his name already. So when he goes to, like, training for the summer training regimen that I bet he knows what he needs.
Yeah, and another thing I'm excited for is him and MBN and some of these guys going to come over for that red versus white game that they plan on having at the Van Andel Arena right here in Grand Rapids. So even if they don't make it to the Grand Rapids roster, if they surpass it, then we'll at least get a chance to see them then.
Yeah, so let's move on to our next guy, Michael Branson Nygaard. So what did you see while observing him play this year alongside Axel Sandin Pellikka?
Our Norwegian hero. He was a disappointment, really. He was not good at all in the first 2/3 of the season. But a lot of that was on account of him having the absolute worst possible line mates, I reckon. It was hard for him to, like, get anything done in Skellefteå in the early goings. He got better as the season went. He really started to come into his own in the playoffs, I reckon. Many Skellefteå fans were quite disappointed with him as a player, but there's so many parameters here that, I mean, he came from first from Norway to a team in Hockeyallsvenskan called Mora, and then he played 2 seasons, well, basically 1.5 season in Mora's men's team in Hockeyallsvenskan, and then he went to Skellefteå in the SHL. That means, like, he's been jumping first from a country to another to a better team, and then from one team in Sweden to a better team. So he's been jumping leagues every year for 3 years. So there's some times takes some time for him to get acclimatized to the new environment. It's nothing like the Swedish leagues. Sorry, Norway, but not even closely. No. I mean, Norway and Denmark are pretty much the same when it comes to hockey leagues. I would probably say that Danish league is a little bit better, but compared to Sweden or Finland, it's nothing even remotely the same. So, I mean, he's risen through the leagues quite quickly, but you can see the raw talent is there. He's a really good player. He does some interesting mistakes from time to time. I mean, I think he has more of he wants more than he can do with the line mates he had, especially in Skellefteå in the early goings, which ended up with him being frustrated and taking a fair few stupid penalties. But as a raw, like, product and a prospect, everything is there. I said on my show that and this is not meant as an insult, that MBN plays a stupid type of game. There's no finesse there in the same way that you'll see an Axel Sandin Pellikka with the cerebral plays and the nifty stuff. Axel Sandin Pellikka is more of a Cale Makar, while Mikael Branson Nygaard is more of a power forward with a shot that could probably break the sideboards. So
vaporize a man.
Yeah. So MBN is your prototypical, like, power forward with some finesse, but he has more of a. Sometimes you think he's playing with blinders on because he doesn't see the ice. Like, you watch the game and you go, like, the pass like back to the defender. It's right there. Why aren't you doing it? And he's like steaming for the goal, right? So
Yeah, I could also almost.
he's a raw type prospect.
Gotcha.
So I almost, from what I've seen in Grand Rapids, I could be wrong, but I noticed I feel like he could be like a Holmstrom kind of player, get in front of the net and use his body to block and deflect stuff right in there, and use his body size to push dudes around, and then he has that massive slapper. I mean,
Yeah, they used him in that kind of a way in Skellefteå on the power play as the not the guy just in front of the goalie, but just in front of him. I don't know what you call that position in the US, but like a second layer cover, a bit like a Holmstrom more into the slot area. They shot at him, and he like grabbed the puck in a quick wrister.
Yep.
So yeah, I think you can utilize MBN in a lot of different ways, especially on special teams. When he has that wrister and the slapper he has a million different ways to score. So, but he'll just have to put everything together, and I think he'll have a better chance of doing that in Grand Rapids, considering the line mates and the chances he'll get. Because that's the issue. I mean, when you look at SHL teams, they are not in this game to develop talents for the NHL. They're in it to win the trophy at the end. Yeah, so if MBN doesn't perform like they want him to, or they reckon they have better pros that are in 28, 29 years old and been around in Europe and North America coming back to play for Skellefteå, there's no room for an MBN in the first two lines. He did get some chances, some looks, but most of the time he wasn't just playing with quality players like that. So he got some games in, but I don't think he got the chances you would like as a Detroit fan when you watched Skellefteå.
Gotcha.
And when he got the chance, he really didn't take him either. But at the latter part, the last third of the season, he started to get things like going, and it started to look like. I mean, Skellefteå fans were so frustrated with him the first 2/3 of the season.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the way you described him is pretty accurate for what we saw in Grand Rapids as well. You don't see the finesse out of him. You see a lot of hard drives on the net. And honestly, with the situation we were dealing with in Grand Rapids, it's almost exactly what we needed. And I think that's why he ended up with 2 goals and led the team in the playoffs. Because that his bullheadedness just kind of got into the net. So it seemed to be something we're lacking here in Grand Rapids. So there's definitely a spot for him to take advantage of that. And yeah, like you said, a chance for him to develop with some of these other players that are, willing to work with him. Some of the coaches that are willing to give him some more chances, put him on the power play, and kind of let him do his game and get a little better while he goes. So,
yeah, I think he'll develop just fine in Grand Rapids. I've heard a lot of people say that he's the most likely guy to get some NHL games. I'm not sure I agree with that.
I think Nate
because he's so raw. Yeah, I agree with that. Nate should be the first guy up and on forward. But I think MBN in Grand Rapids it's a perfect fit, and he's a guy who doesn't take shit from anybody. He's happy to mix it up if it's there.
The Red Wings have high stock in him, obviously drafting him 15th overall in the first round, 2004.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, 15th overall, that ain't no joke.
No, but we drafted Michael Rasmussen higher, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Not the best results. I mean, he's a great guy, but he ain't worth 15th overall. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. He's a good character player for the third and fourth line.
I thought Rasmussen was going to be the in front of the net guy. I tell you what, that never worked out.
Nope.
All right, you ready to talk about Anton Johansson?
Yeah, you got a good viewing of him, didn't you? How many games did he play?
We had 11 games at the end of the season for Anton, which he put up 5 points. He didn't score any goals, but I thought he looked pretty good. He got burned a couple times on some breakaways where guys just, experienced AHLers just kind of made a move on him and he got lost in the dust. That happened 2 or 3 times, but seemed solid for the most part as far as like closing down the rush. He seemed to really kind of stick with his guy and be a pest, and really kind of good to see that as like almost he could kind of handle the one-on-ones with some of the faster players.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid pick, isn't he? I mean, he plays a solid defensive game. That he gets burned on the occasion, like in North America right now, I'm betting he's not used to guys going so straight at the goal. In the SHL, there's a whole lot of going wide and going behind the goal, trying to find the pass, so you can just box people out much easier. On account of the ice surface being wider, so that'll be a learning process for him. It's kind of funky though that he's apparently decided to play in Leksand for another year. It sounds like that, at least, because the new coach of Leksand, Johan Hedberg, a former NHL goalie with was it Vancouver? Can't remember. It was called the Moose, at least. Manitoba Moose. Was that Vancouver's?
That's on Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Was that Winnipeg? Yeah, but in the we're talking about like 15 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah,
I can't remember if he was a Vancouver prospect or not. Either way, that's the new coach. He was interviewed, and they asked specifically about Anton Johansson, whether or not he was going to North America or not. And he said, I fully expect him to play for Leksand next season. Like, that was a non-discussion, non-starter at all. So it sounded a bit strange that they were so like.
So I heard that his father was actually the general manager, president of the team, or something like that.
Yes, yeah, he is. He's the GM. Easiest translation, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's really disappointing for us fans in Grand Rapids, because I feel like he played really good last year. I mean, we had Simon Edmondson step away last year, and we kind of had William Wallander. We kind of were hoping for him to step up and take that role, and I feel like Anton Johansson came right in and kind of performed just as well as Wallander did in the few games, and I think they were like both would have had a really good, healthy competition in the locker room if they both returned to GR. So it's really, really sad to see him going back. I hope Yzerman puts his foot down somehow and gets him, or convinces him to come back.
The thing is, I'm not sure how that works with the contracts, because there's some, like, if they're first round picks, the team that drafted them have the final say in everything. But Anthony Johansson is a 4th round pick, and he's under contract in Sweden. So I don't think Detroit has that much to say if they are intending to put him in the AHL. I think that's the issue here. I'm not sure if I'm actually correct. Yeah. But I agree. I would rather see him in Grand Rapids. Leksand is a team that's basically going nowhere. They're a middling, maybe make the playoff, maybe not make the playoffs kind of team.
Last year, it looks like he put up 46 games and 10 points for Leksand. So obviously,
he was injured for a few games there.
Okay.
Gotcha. And they made the playoffs, but did very little there. So no, I think that in a perfect world, he should. No, they didn't make the playoffs this season. They made the playoffs last season.
Gotcha.
The previous one. No, I think he should be in Grand Rapids. I think that would be, but I don't think it'll hurt his development being in Sweden. I think it's rather, it would be good for Grand Rapids if he was there.
Right. I think he would be good for us too. Do you think it's a situation where if he goes across seas and he's there for the season that he gets like top pairing minutes or that kind of increased playing time to help his development? Not
In
that they
Leksand,
care about it, but
I think he was playing on the second pair most of the season that went by. He gets plenty of minutes here, so that's not
Gotcha.
an issue.
okay.
But he's a fun guy. He's physical. He's kind of mean. He gets
Yeah,
into it
I
as
would
well.
notice that too for his size. He's kind of a lankier guy. He's not small, but he's a little lanky. He's not afraid to throw his lankiness around, that's for sure.
No, but he's strong too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see him like when he lays a hit, you know it hurts. He's put up a few decent hits in the SHL, and that's not like it's not usually that much of a physical league. We have hits naturally, but he's a bit of a meaner guy considering
Okay.
his age.
Gotcha.
I
That's
mean,
good to
he
hear.
managed to rack up 50 penalty minutes in 46 games. So I think he got ejected once.
Yeah, so if he does end up going to Sands, it seems like he'll be getting the time he needs. And then I'm sure we'd see him around the end of the season, like we did
Yeah.
this year, probably
Yeah,
another.
for sure.
Because if Sand don't make the playoffs, I'm sure he'll be coming right back over.
Yep.
And that gives other guys some more time. But yeah, he was real quick. He was selected by the Red Wings 4th round, 2022, a 105 overall. So he's another.
Well, and these are the guys we need to like make it to the big leagues, like 4th rounders. And if he managed to become a third pairing D man, that's wicked. That's perfect.
Right. Yep. I agree with that. And we already got Albert Johansson up there, or Johansson, so we can get another.
That would be the perfect pair, wouldn't it?
It could be an interesting.
Johansson and Johansson, third pairing.
Yeah, Johansson.
All righty. I think we can move in to talk about Charlie Forsland now.
So why did you pick this guy? Why did you want to know about Charlie Forsland?
Because he's one of the guys drafted by Detroit.
Yeah, fair.
And he's just one of the dudes from Sweden. So we figured we'd talk about him. We don't know much about him, so.
No, he had this one season in like the third tier in Sweden called the Hockeyettan. That's the series below Hockeyallsvenskan, because you have SHL at the top, and then you have Hockeyallsvenskan, and then you have Hockeyettan. So he played in Hockeyettan for Falun, and that season he played 19 games and had 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists, and that raised a fair few eyebrows. Thing is, I'm a teacher, so let's start there. I'm a teacher, and I had a couple of students who actually played in Hockeyettan and played him, and they know I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan, so we started talking about him, and they said that series was easily, because they have 4 like northeast, south, and west series of Hockeyettan divisions.
Gotcha.
And that series was the absolute worst. So they were actually joking that one of them could have been drafted if they just put up 19 points in 19 games in a really, really bad league.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he was picked by Mora, who's both Falun and Mora they come from the same county.
Gotcha.
So they just picked him up as a future kind of like MBN replacement, because MBN left Mora, and then they figured, hey, let's get this guy who's big and can score. And then they put him in the J20 National Series, where he suddenly became a half a point per game guy versus other junior players. So he scored 19 points versus men in 19 games, and then he was half a point per game player in the J20s. And he did play like 6 games versus men in the in Hockeyallsvenskan, and then he played in the qualification round, and he managed 1 assist So as far as you'll ever see him in North America, I sincerely doubt it. He could become one of those because big guys. If you
Yeah.
play sports, so when you're young, you always have this big guy he hits you in the head with his arms because he doesn't know where his arms are going, like that lack of motor skills that big guys can have when they're younger. So if he's one of those guys who develop a little bit slower, a little bit later, maybe he's a long shot to make it somewhere. But otherwise, I think Charlie Forslund is more likely to be a second or third tier hockey player here in Sweden as it stands right now.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
He has a hell of a shot, and but that's it. He's big and he's heavy and can move people, and he has a heavy shot. But apart from that, I just don't see.
Gotcha.
I don't think you'll ever see him. I think maybe Toledo might see him, but
maybe.
yeah.
All right.
I don't think he's a guy you bring over unless he really blows the door down next season. Next season for this guy is like pivotal because that could change his trajectory.
Reaching that age where it gets to the point where it's like you better turn up or shut up.
Yep.
Yeah, he can probably make a living playing hockey part time.
Oh yeah, but probably not.
But also he's a 6th round pick. He's the mother of all long shots.
Yep.
Yeah, the odds of a 6th round pick ever doing anything on the NHL team they're drafted for is very rare. Even 2nd round picks, it comes down to like 20%ish.
Yeah,
it gets really slim after that.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, there's not much that says that he'll ever be the prospect. Star Wars.
Oh, dude, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed until Disney got involved.
Yeah, fair enough. The Stormtroopers.
Yep.
This is not the prospect you're looking for.
Roger that.
This is not.
Well, thanks for the update. That's why we're bringing them and talking about them. So we'll move on to Maximilian Kilpinen. See what.
Oh, and I wish how I could come with better news here, but you'll never see this guy either.
Got a 4th round pick, number 129 from Detroit, a 21-year-old now.
Yeah, and he did not make it in Hockeyallsvenskan and is now contracted to a team in Hockeyettan. So he's playing 2nd tier Swedish, no, actually 3rd tier Swedish hockey next year as a 21-year-old. He was good in J20s versus juniors, has done nothing versus grown-ups. So yeah, he had a decent qualification round with Hudiksvall, but that's a team not far from where I am, actually. It's a 2-hour drive north. And 21 years old, well, time's ticking. I don't think they'll sign this guy, and I don't think you'll ever hear from him in North America. Sadly.
All right, yeah.
But it's another 4th round pick, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, exactly why I want to bring them up. These guys we don't get to hear of too much, so we just kind of want to get an update on where they're at. And that kind of brings us to the Dower Nielsen brothers, knowing that we signed both Liam. Well, didn't sign, we drafted both Liam and Noah Dower Nielsen. It seems like Noah and Liam being the older brother, it seems like his time might be running out a little bit.
Yes, and I agree there. I mean, he can score his points, and as you can see, he's playing for Björklöven, a team that's in financial dire straits this upcoming season. They've decided to travel by bus everywhere, basically, instead of flying. and to explain that, they're in the far north of Sweden. And Sweden, if you know your geography, is a very, very elongated country. So he's going to spend a lot of time on the bus.
Yeah.
And Liam Dove Nilsson, as a player, he's a bit of a power play merchant. He scores a lot on the power play, and he has a lot of assists on the power play. He played along the left side wall on the PP for Björklöven, and could he come over to North America? To be fair, if he does a decent season this season on Björklöven Hockeyallsvenskan, and his brother Noah does the same thing for Frölunda, I wouldn't be opposed. If you're a little bit clever, bring both over to Grand Rapids to help them like they have a friend in North America. So that's decent comfort for Noah. Like, he has his brother there.
Yep.
He's good enough to play in the AHL. That I'm fairly sure. He could be like the next Taro Hirose.
That's
for Grand Rapids.
pretty fair.
He could be an AHL lifer playing on the second line. Question if he wants to be, and that depends if Noah succeeds. Right?
If he makes it to the AHL as a 5th round pick, we will be glad to take that.
Yeah, and I think that his brother being the superior player, if he just can stay healthy. I mean, if you bring both over, why not? I mean, there's something you can do with that, I guess, if you're a bit like clever with it, that you bring both over to North America to play with each other, live with each other. Because quite often, I mean, moving from Sweden to North America is not a small leap.
No.
There's so many differences in how you live and how you train and what you do and whatnot. So,
yeah, most of these players coming across, they find someone that's in a similar situation that's also coming across these, and they kind of grow buddy to buddy anyways. So it's like just having your brother to do that with would be, like you said, very comforting and kind of put a lot of that stress out of the picture.
Yeah. And I mean, Noah Dove Nilsson is a guy that can actually score. It doesn't look like it if you just look at his elite prospects, but he's a good scorer, but he needs to stay healthy. He's been trashing his shoulders, I think, 3 times. I think he has 3 shoulder surgeries already, which is
that's very alarming.
Well, either that or now he's done it, so can't do it again. Shoulders are fixed now, so.
No.
But he's supposed to play for Frölunda in the SHL. I think they put a lot of faith in him, and it's going to be an interesting season for him in Frölunda. So there's still hope for Noah for sure.
So if he puts on a good season, maybe not a point per game, but maybe just under a point per game season for Frölunda, do you think that provides enough spark to get maybe both of them over here?
I would, but I'm not Steve Eisman. I'm a teacher.
Right. Right.
So there's some. I think there's something there at least.
Gotcha.
But he's a 3rd rounder. It's like a 50-50 thing for him, I guess.
Yep.
But he has qualities. You see it when you watch him play that there's something there. So I have hope for him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, nice. Nice to see the brothers. It's crazy seeing the younger brother being the better prospect. Usually the older brother's a little better, but
I reckon that the younger brother is usually the one getting beat. So they are like training harder to beat the older brother. Because you have that with tons of players though. I think Elias Pettersson, in Vancouver, he has an older brother, plays in the SHL. I mean, Elias is far superior to him.
Yeah,
maybe it's a Swedish thing.
We had the Sveshkanov brothers. I believe Evgeny was the older brother, and then
and
Sergey Svet,
Yeah.
I think. I can't remember their
Yeah.
names.
But he went
Yeah.
off to rip it up for Carolina too.
Yeah, and he's really good.
As the younger brother.
Yevgeny, that on the other hand, is he's not that impressive, is he?
Andrei Svechnikov is the Carolina guy, and then
Yep.
Evgeny was the guy
Yeah, we had him in
spent
Grand
a first
Rapids.
round pick for.
We picked the wrong Svechnikov.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the Dower Nielsen brothers, we didn't take a chance. We just took them both.
Yep. No, it's a good story too. I mean, I hope these guys succeed. They have their stories. I don't know if you know their story, the backstory of the Dower Nielsens.
No, I'd love to hear it if you know.
Let's see. I'm gonna check what their mother's name is. Yeah, because when Liam was 14, their mother passed in cancer. So there was this whole story with their mother, like she passed when they were young. So when they were drafted, when Noah was drafted by Detroit, Liam was actually there. I don't know if you saw the pictures backstage when they were hugging, and they had their father and their grandfather there, and they had like the salute to their mother who had passed. So there's a feel good story in there if they were to make it together to North America.
Yeah,
which I think
that's some
many
good
would latch
stuff.
onto.
The feel good stories, the heartfelt stuff really provides when you make it to the big leagues, and a lot of people start to hear that.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
I hear you, and it's really just unfortunate that they lost their mom. So,
Yep. Yeah, cancer is a bastard.
Yeah, it is. That son of a bitch.
all right.
Yeah, so that's all the prospects, right? That you want to hear about?
That's all the prospects. Did you want to talk about the draft at all? Seeming that that's right around the corner here. The Stanley Cup is over.
I'm game.
All righty. Who do you think is the best prospect out from Sweden that the Red Wings should target? Obviously, we are on pick 13, so we can't go too crazy with it, but who are some of the good prospects?
Yeah, Anton Frondell naturally will be gone by 13. I sincerely doubt he'll be there. A lot of mock drafts have Victor Eklund falling to us, and if that happens, we should be insanely happy because he's a player that Vinny Trocheck.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love
that type
Trocheck.
of guy. Yeah, he's him in Swedish.
Victor Eklund.
So he's a bit more soft spoken, but he's the same guy basically. So yeah, he's a all motor, never gives up, puck hound, steals the pucks, scores the goals. He does pretty much everything. The only knock on him is more or less only North American scouting that says he's too small. So it has worked out just fine for him here in Sweden. I mean, he gets caught by a big defenseman in the SHL as well, but he works himself loose, and he most oftenly come out with the puck too. So he's a hell of a prospect. I think we should be very happy if we picked him. But those guys are spoken about at length by every podcast. So I reckon if we should pick guys a little bit more off the board, you have the Swedish/Australian forward Jakobis Wozniak, who's you can knock his skating, but you can't knock his scoring. He's a kid that really, really has a knack for goal. So in the later rounds, I think he could go as early as the first round. But he's a guy that if we could grab him in the second, we should be happy. You have a guy called Erik Nilsson who plays for Djurgården, also a really, really nice center prospect. And he's the type of center that that does everything, a bit like Nate.
Nice.
You can't really like find any weaknesses in his game. They can do everything. So he's a really nice prospect. But if we can grab a guy in the later rounds, and we can grab a guy called Malte Vass. I speak about him on my latest episode of The Winger. So he's a really physical defenseman. He really loves to play the body, and he can really read the game. So he's everything everybody thought Brady Cleveland would be.
Gotcha.
When we drafted him. So that's a fun guy to like. If we could grab him, it would be awesome. And another guy is a Slovak who plays in the SHL called Michal Svercek. He is playing for Brynäs, which is the team closest to me where I live now. And he's absolutely hilarious to watch because he never quits either. He just keeps going. They knock him down, he bounces back up. He did a lot for Brynäs in the SHL, and Brynäs was the second best team. They lost in the final against Luleå. So those are the guys I reckon we should watch for the draft. There's plenty of good guys from Sweden. It's a deep Swedish draft this year compared to last year, which was a bit of a dud.
Roger that. Yeah, that's good to hear. I don't think I've ever heard of that. The last guy you mentioned there.
Malte Vass.
Gotcha. Thank you. We'll be looking into him a little bit. It sounds like, I think personally, we need another big physical defenseman in the room. So I agree with your on him.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 194 pounds.
Not
as
huge.
an 18-year-old.
Oh, so he's got room to grow.
He does have room to grow. I think if you look at the Elite Prospect page, it says Malte Vass is a defensive defenseman who kills plays through his physicality and motor. He suffocates opponents by taking away their time and space. He's an aggressive play killer who can leverage his strength and skating to stop rushes early or engage attackers along the wall to separate them from the puck. I mean, what's not to like, eh?
I hear you on that. That's good to hear. And like I said, I think both teams, Griffins and the Red Wings over here, need that kind of physicality and just another big defenseman. We really lost it with Edvinsson, and he went up to the Red Wings. So some more size wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, but he was so good this season. Talk about a revelation, Simon Edvinsson.
Yeah, he's honestly my favorite player that's come through the Griffins since the Yzer plan. I mean, obviously Lucas Raymond skipped us here in Grand Rapids, went right up, and then Simon Edvinsson. He just grabbed my heart. My profile picture is literally me and him. It's awesome at the signing there. But yeah,
I think my Discord profile picture is Elmer Söderblom.
Elmer Soderblom is another guy I love, man. Yeah. I love Elmer Soderblom.
Another guy I said that Detroit should draft before they did.
Nice.
I was on the train for him way before the draft.
Yeah, he's special.
Just because the first time I saw him, he was playing in the junior leagues, and you just see this guy it's like two players sitting on top of each other, and you go like, what the? Because in the junior league, you can have like guys who's 165 centimeters, and here comes Elmer. You go like, what?
Yeah, it was a minute there. We had Simon Edvinsson and Soderblom. They were the Twin Towers here in Grand Rapids, and I got a picture of Soderblom and Edvinsson standing next to each other next to Amadeus Lombardi, who's like 5'10". He just you can hardly see the kid, you know.
That's crazy. Didn't Daniela Bruce stand between Edvinsson and Söderblom on a picture? I think
so. Yeah, I think
that also looked very silly.
Yeah, standing next to Soderblom, I was like, oh my God, man. Like, I took a picture with him too at the autograph signing, and I was right next to him, and I felt very Like I had to look up to him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Just imagine if he got just a little bit meaner.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit
Oh,
meaner.
yeah. I
Dude,
feel
they
like he was on his way there at the end of the season. For
Oh,
the
he's
Griffins.
getting there. He's getting there, but it's just like I said, big guys take longer to develop. And
It's just
that's
his own
just not
entry,
the
man.
motor,
Like
it's just everything.
his reach, it's like if the puck's by him, he can almost like outreach almost anyone near him, and it's the Red Wings were utilizing him so good at like when we had the last minutes to make the playoffs. Elmer Soderbaum was out on the ice, and for a rookie like that, that's amazing to see. I mean, it shows how much size can really matter, and like that really benefits.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't
Zone
get that
entry.
much finesse with players that size most of the time.
No, the only one that I can like think of straight off the bat is like Tage Thompson in Buffalo, right?
Yep.
He's also huge and has the hands and the shot and everything. But he's also a higher drafted prospect than Elmer.
Yeah,
He's
Elmer's
also-
sixth round, yeah.
It's crazy that he worked out the way he did, and yeah, for him, time is a little bit less of a factor when you're that kind of unicorn of a player.
Yeah, and I just hope they hold on to him, that they don't trade him and he has success elsewhere, because that would be horrible.
Right.
Just imagine we trade him somewhere and he becomes like what he could be if he maximizes his like potential.
Yeah,
That would
full
be-
time top six, and
That would
just-
definitely hurt.
Yeah, just I mean, when you're that size, you must be when you're younger, you must be like skating around thinking you could kill anyone if by mistake. So when you get like to senior level, you're still a bit hesitant to use your size.
Yeah, yep. And at some point, I mean, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I really don't know my strength, and I'm guessing
All right.
he's still figuring that out. So
But I saw a couple games when he played with Detroit where you could see he got angry.
yep.
And there's not many of the players. I mean, he grabbed a couple of veteran players, and there was not much they could do about it when he got
Yeah.
hold of them. So I mean, when he just gets a little more nastiness to his game, it'll be fun.
Yeah, there's something
I
about
saw that Gabe Seeger. I was thinking I should ask you about that. How did Gabe Seeger do this year? He's a former student of mine, actually.
Oh, really, dude? He did really good. He got like about what 7 or 10?
I think he got 10 goals, 7
10
assists.
goals. Yeah.
I think he had 17 points. He actually put on a really good season as a two-way forward for the Griffins. I was really excited we signed him again. So really good things for Seeger, honestly. I'm excited to see him next year and hoping he can develop a little bit. Kind of that front, he's a front of the net presence. He's physical. He's got that kind of power forward side to him, but he's also just two-way, and he ended the season at +5, where most of the team ended up falling off at the end with plus-minus because we were getting scored on so much. He finished +5, so I really am like, this is a guy worth keeping.
And also, I really noticed a leadership role even too when the trade deadline happened, and you get a lot of the Grand Rapids dudes have to go up to Detroit to fill in holes, and like we were looking at dudes like Cross, Hannes, and a couple other dudes to really step up, and we had injuries to Lombardi and Mazer, and Seeger came in and he really stepped up along with like Carson Bantle, a couple of those other younger guys. It's really cool to see. Hunter Johannes, another one who really stepped up during that time.
Yeah, Seeger was he was a captain of the NCAA team he played for, I think, for 2 or 3 seasons.
I want to say Cornell.
Well, was it Cornell at the end? Wasn't it? I think he started with when he was my student. He was going over to like a team called Armadillo Red Bulls, Blue Bulls, some Bulls, and then he moved to like some NCAA team, and then Cornell, and then somewhere else, or the other way around. Either way,
Yeah,
it was
he
kind
was
of
the
fun.
Amarillo Bulls in the North American Hockey League, looks like.
Yeah.
And then Union College for 3 years, where he was the assistant captain, and then he went to Cornell in 22-23, finished his college career, and became an assistant captain in his final year of Cornell. So
Yeah. It was kind of funny though, because when you saw, I don't know if you saw the interview with MBN and ASP, where they referred to Gabe Seeger as their dad on the team.
No,
That's
I haven't
awesome.
seen that.
Oh, what? He's what, 25?
Yeah, he's young. He's still pretty young.
Yeah,
Obviously older
he's a
than
clever.
him, but-
He's a clever dude, though. No, I teach at my students are between well, basically 15 and 19 normally. Well, 16, 19, and it's technical focused school, so kids that want to be engineers in the future
Yep.
come to that school. And he was a really good student. He's a clever kid, and I think he did some engineering classes in college over there as well.
Gotcha.
So I don't think he'll be like forced to play hockey for a living if he doesn't want to, because I think he has some degrees to his name.
Nice.
So it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny that the kids like refer to him as the dad of the team for them, the Scandinavians.
That's
Old man,
hilarious.
25-year-old Gabe Seeger.
25.
Yeah. No, we get the experience. They always do this great winter fest where we have Rosa Park Circle. It's an ice rink here, right in Grand Rapids. It's outdoor, and normally they have like one or two of the Griffins players out there like every hour, all night long for the entire night for 2 nights in a row, basically. And I caught Seeger out there and got a good chance to kind of skate around with him, pick his brain a little bit about how he's enjoying the season. And yeah, I was happy I got to have that talk with him. And like I said, I'm excited for him to sign another contract this year, and I'm really excited to see him back out on the ice.
Yeah, super nice kid.
Oh, anything else, Connor?
I don't know. So Lars, where can we find you at? What are your social medias?
I have the at Lars Thorsell on Twitter. The podcast is the Swedish Winger. I'm on most podcast apps. I don't think I can get on Apple. They hate me for some reason. I just keep getting an error message, and when I send something to their support, they just don't reply. So, I don't know if that's because I'm on BuzzFeed or whatever it's called, but I'm on Spotify. That's where I get most of my listens. I talk Swedish prospects and a fair bit about Detroit Red Wings as well. So just for fun, there's nothing like a weekly episode or a monthly episode. I just record when I feel like it and when I have the time between grading papers and writing up students for being bad.
Flip your card.
We should appreciate you releasing those episodes when you do. It's always good to hear from you, and your opinion is actually, we think it's pretty credible. So it's good to have you on our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great that you
good fun
on your day and everything. Like, we really appreciate it. If you ever want to make it, if you ever are in the States and you want to make it to a Griffins game, just hit us up and we will absolutely give you some tickets, man, for real. Like, if you're ever around.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah.
I will do.
Awesome, man. Well, take care of yourself. We'll definitely talk to you again sometime for sure.
Yeah, I'd be happy to join. Just ask.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
You have a great one, Lars. Thank you so much.
You too, guys. Cheers.
Go Wings.
Go Wings.
Yeah, go Wings.
So thank you, Lars, for being another part of our little summer series here, the Players in the Pipeline. We had the Munsters from Michigan State student section. We had Al Randall from Michigan Hockey, and now Lars Thorsell, the Swedish Ringer. In future episodes, we're gonna have Jimmy Haskins from Husky Highlights, and then we're gonna have a blast from the past, Brad Rignas, to come talk about the Toledo Walleye.
Yeah, thank you, Lars. It was really good to hear from you and have your opinions on some of these players, even if they're kind of out there. So thanks again, and hopefully we continue to hear from you in your show, as we all love to hear from it.
Yeah, I can't wait for every episode for the next episode of the Swedish Ringer. Great podcast. If you haven't listened to it already, it's really cool to see a actual Swedish aspect to what's going down with all these Swedish players Iserman's drafted out of Sweden. So check out the Swedish Ringer. It was a great talk with us, and yeah, that'll get us to our final segment of the episode, which is the penalty box. So this is the final segment of every episode. We like to step out of hockey and end it on a fun note. We pick the biggest idiot of the week, throw them into the penalty box for a 2-minute minor, 4-minute double minor, 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. Kyle, who are you throwing into the penalty box?
So this week it's going to be the Seattle Kraken for their stickers and general logo that's going around of the Octopus. First of all, you guys are a Kraken, which I believe is more like a squid and has 10 legs, is what I've been told, and I believe we are the octopus with Al the octopus, and you're getting awfully close to what we represent, and you'll never be an original 6 team, so don't even try it. I would suggest editing it, making a change before the fans come for you.
Yeah, I believe squids have way more.
Just different altogether.
Yeah, squids are a completely different animal.
I believe Kraken's just a creature.
A octopus, that's just a joke. That's a joke. The Red Wings is a original 6 team, historic logo of the 8 games, what it took to win the Stanley Cup. And if you're going to take away from that, that definitely deserves a game misconduct. I guess if you want to go and enjoy your Dollar Tree version of the Red Wings, then have at it. We're going to continue to support our actual octopus and throw our actual octopi on the ice and be original 6 historic Detroit Red Wing.
I agree. Yeah. Game misconduct for the Seattle Kraken for having this octopus be a thing. I just don't understand. It's not what it should be. You guys know you were treading waters as soon as you became the Kraken, but we allowed it. But this is stepping too far. So this is where I draw the line. So 10-minute game misconduct. Get them out of here. By the way, can we get L the octopus if the Red Wings make the playoffs? Can he drop on the ice?
Yeah, let's get a big old Al again. But all right, so who I'm throwing into the penalty box, I'm sure everyone's heard. CEO of Astrometers gets caught with his head of HR at a Coldplay concert. The Kiss Cam catches them, and they immediately jump apart, and it becomes a huge thing because obviously they were allowed to be together. People see it, it goes viral, and all of a sudden you realize it's an HR person and a CEO. Not good. So that'll be a 5-minute major. Not just for cheating and being a horrible person in general, but if you were to get away with something, it could be a little more nonchalant. Like if you would have just played it off cool, probably would have gotten away with it. But the drastic throwing
Dude, he vaporized himself.
Throwing apart, it was pretty obvious something was going on, and everyone investigates, and you're cooked, buddy. You're cooked.
Yeah, the picture of them when the camera first lays them. Oh, man, their eyes. No, he just straight up vanquished out of the area. He's just gone, disappears. Zoop, gone. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, not good. After that, turns out they have both resigned from their positions, which they deserve. I'm sure they'll be filed for divorce shortly.
Yeah, you really can't do that kind of stuff nowadays. And to go to a public event like that and to not expect some sort of reaction from people, I don't know. They're so openly about it. It was crazy.
Yeah, so another game misconduct. Have fun in the box.
All right, so that should wrap us up for this episode in the penalty box, dealing out some heavy blows today. So coming up,
Jimmy Haskell.
Coming up next, we have an update from our old walleye partner, Brad Regnis. We'll have an episode with him to update us on the Toledo walleye and the comings and goings of players in Toledo. And then after that,
we have my old buddy, Jimmy Haskell. We actually started on a separate podcast from the podcast we started, and we both went our separate ways and both have come very successful. So it's going to be nice to talk with Jimmy Haskell again. And he has a very cool channel, Haskell Highlights. Check that out on YouTube. So we're just going to get back together and talk about some prospects. And he's going to talk about cool stuff.
Yeah, really good to get back together with some like minds, talk some hockey, and it's really good to get each other's opinions on different players and prospects and what's going to come up for this upcoming season. So looking forward to this talk with Jimmy.
Yeah, so until then, enjoy your summers, stay safe. See you next time. Go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.